Hey guys, so I'm so excited for this because today we're going to be reviewing all of the mugs that I have in my flat. Now it's really quite an interesting task for me because I haven't actually done this before, and I'm going to let you know now that I haven't actually purchased any of these mugs. These were mostly mugs that already existed in the flat when I moved in, and then a couple of them, quite interestingly, I've inherited from ex-flatmates. So let's cut straight to the chase. So it's got a lot of messaging in it, and it's actually got a lot of symbolism in it that I think the average person wouldn't really be able to read it. I think it stands great as a mug just on its own. It's just a pretty mug, but if you look a bit deeper, you really start to see what it's really telling you. So I think if we look here, it says Space Butterfly Original. Now I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about space or about butterflies really, but if you think about it and if you really look closely at what we've got in front of us here, we've got this black butterfly, got these three kind of stars above and then one below. What I'm really getting from here is this kind of Kendrick Lamar to Pimp a Butterfly kind of essence. It's kind of a symbol for like the kind of just like for Black Lives Matter, kind of a great powerful mug to turn to if you really just want a bit of justice. Now this next mug, this one's gonna get me, and it gets me every time, and I'm actually really excited to show you guys this one. So oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Okay, okay. So this mug says, "The more people I meet, the." Oh my gosh. This this Oh, okay. Okay, so let me try this one again. Right, right. So this mug says, "The more people I meet, the more I like my cat." More I like my cat. Oh, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Like, I think I. Oh, oh, I'm meeting all these people, but I think the more people I meet, the more I like my cat. Right, so up next we've got this very special mug. This is actually a Starbucks mug, which I think is pretty cool. It kind of gives off this really kind of special vibe, this special kind of ambiance. It makes you feel like you're having a Starbucks coffee. A bit of a Christmas motif. It's got this kind of green and red going on here. And then watch this, if you cover this bit up like that, that handle, that's just a candy cane. That's just a straight up candy cane like that. So that's really cool. That's like a good kind of feature to kind of have like a themed mug. It's December 20th. I want to go have a coffee with my mate, but I can't because I don't have any friends because we're in lockdown. So instead what I'll do is I'll sit at home, put my feet up, and I'll have a coffee with this kind of Christmas Starbucks mug. This mug is actually fantastic for a cup of soup. If I'm going to have a cup of soup and I'm going to have it in a cup, I'm going to have it in this one. This is a really good mug for a cup of soup, and a cup of soup is a really good snack for the winter time. You'd get it confused. You'd go for a lick. So if you look here, the main text is telling us making the lass great. So I think that's kind of a backlash to the Donald Trump Make America Great Again movement. And what we're looking here with making the lass great, what we're talking about here is feminism. I would say. I think we're talking about feminism. I think we're talking about kind of female empowerment. We're talking about gender equality, kind of free the vagina, if you will. This word care is obviously just so important to the kind of feminist movement because we have to care about it, and because mothers are so caring. Mothers are so caring. So that's really what that's all about there, if you ask me. Now this one's really interesting. What it says here is excellence, but if you look closely, you'll see there's actually another word that's kind of trying to creep in there before excellence. I think that's really so symbolic. That's so on the nose, talking about kind of women trying to strive for excellence and just being cut off. If we look closely, what's the word that's being cut off there? Clinical. Right next to where it says commitment, this circle is actually also being cut off, just like the excellence. It's being kind of amputated. What that really tells me is if commitment is being cut off here, we can't commit to the full circle. I think that's really what the feminist movement is about, is not going full circle. It's about moving forward. It's about progression. So in that sense, this is a really, really important mug, and it's one that I love to turn to when I want that level of progress. This next mug, actually, I'll be honest with you, it makes me a little bit sad. This mug is kind of a commemorative piece, recognizing the marriage of what looks to be a beautiful young couple. I mean, I can only assume that this couple were the former tenants of this flat. This is Kate and William, and this appears to be a mug kind of from their wedding day, or kind of in anticipation of their nuptials. It just kind of breaks my heart. This is obviously such an important thing for them, and it's not with them anymore, it's with me, and I don't think I deserve it. I honestly, I don't think I deserve it. I'd love to get it back to them. So Kate and William, I mean, they look like a lovely couple. And the other thing that worries me about this mug, and I didn't even want to say it, but if they left it here, like maybe that wasn't an accident, maybe they meant to because the marriage failed, and that's really sad. It is a pretty good mug, I'd say, for a cup of tea. I wouldn't necessarily want to have a coffee out of this mug. I prefer a thicker mug for a coffee. If we actually just take a look at another example here. So let's go back to Space Butterfly Black Lives Matter. So as you can see, look at the thickness. Look at the thickness on that one. That's what you want out of a coffee, because if I want my coffee to be a bit thicker, then I want it to be in a mug that's also a little bit thicker. This is a very thin mug, and I think that's better for tea, which is a thinner drink. I can't really drink tea because I have 17 coffees a day and I don't really have the space. But this is a fantastic mug for a cup of tea. But what I find most interesting about this mug is that it reminds me a lot of white people. But at the same time, it's the exact kind of mug that you'd see like an old uncle drinking out of while he sits alone in the corner of a brown people party.
I'm here. That's exactly what we're trying to establish. Is that not one of the possibilities?
So all in all, it's a good mug. It's a nice mug to look at. It's a good mug kind of to just remind you of your cultural heritage no matter where you're from. So this is my favorite mug in the house. This mug was actually the perfect match to an outfit that I was wearing a couple months ago, and I really appreciate that. That's quite hard to find, and for that I respect this mug so much. It's actually got this beautiful message. It says power up. Got this arrow going up and it says power up, and I think it's a really kind of a touching message, especially in 2020. But what's most amazing about this mug, if you can get a look in there, I don't know if you guys can see that, it says 100% charged. Now that's so fascinating to me, because I use this mug all the time. I use it every day. This is my go-to mug. I use it all the time. I love to pretend to sip something out of it in Zoom calls when I forget how to smile. It's just a fantastic mug. I use it all the time, and yet it's not once has it dipped below 100. So that's, it's a magic mug. It's beautiful. It's amazing. This mug does belong to my ex-flatmate. She was supposed to go to India for ages. Then she went to India, and then COVID hit, and so she only went for a month. And then she came back, but she didn't actually ask for the mug back. So that's how I've ended up with this, and I'm actually really happy about that. So this next mug kind of makes me a bit. This next mug makes me like a little bit mad. I'm not gonna lie. I actually really struggle to look at this next mug, you guys, and it's gonna be a bit of a mission for me to actually like pick it up and hold it for even more than like 10 seconds. This is gonna be a difficult experience for me. I'm just telling you now. I do not like this mug. I really do not. This mug, I don't know, I guess I just don't get it. Like, it's just not a mug to me. Like, I've really tried it. I've really tried to like spend time with it. I've tried to like tried to put water in it. It wasn't even boiling. The water wasn't even boiling. I just tried to have like just like a cup of water out of it. And like I know you shouldn't even have water out of mugs. That's gross. That's stupid. But I just needed to do something. Why would you? Not a mug. Not a mug. Who's gonna drink out of this? Who's gonna drink out? Like, oh, my house is on fire. I better drink a coffee out of a fucking cube. I don't know. It's just like you're conditioned to think that a mug should be one thing. And then you see something like this, and you honestly just, and it makes me doubt myself a little bit. Kind of makes me question who I am and what my values are. Like, who am I to tell this mug? Can you imagine being this mug? Can you imagine growing up knowing that you don't look like the other mugs, you don't feel like the other mugs, nobody treats you like the other mugs, and then you still get fucking shat on by people like me? It's like, what if I am this mug? Am I just a cube living in a world of cylinders? Maybe we're not that different. Maybe we're meant to be. Guys, I knew this was gonna be. I knew this was gonna be a really hard thing to do. I didn't think it was gonna be this difficult. And honestly, I just don't know if I can keep doing this. Not if it's gonna be like this. I love this guy. So much, and it took me so long to realize how much I needed them. I just ignored it. And when I wasn't ignoring it, I was fucking chastising it. I was talking shit about it. I was just... Maybe it's just what I've needed my whole life, you know? Maybe my whole life has been the emergency. And I just needed to take a break. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take a break. So now, interestingly, this mug has actually traveled with me throughout 3 different flats, but I still don't consider it my own, and I'd rather not speculate on which ex-flatmate did buy it. This is a really interesting mug because, for the most part, I do think that flags are a really stupid thing to exist, but at the same time I quite enjoy having this overtly British symbol with me, just as a reminder that I live in England, so I must be better than you. Now I do think it's important that you kind of use what you have around you for inspiration, no matter what your goals are, no matter what your ambitions are, or just how you plan on getting through the day. You can use what surrounds you, and you can use your personal items to really drive your message and drive your purpose. When I want to encourage change, when I kind of want to make a difference, I want to see a real impact on the world, I'm going to turn to Congress. I'm going to turn to the Congress Center mug. This is a really good mug for just kind of staying motivated. And I think what's most exciting about this mug is the shape of it. I think it's got just a unique shape. You don't actually get many mugs that kind of have that kind of look about it. So that's a really good mug. I'm going to be honest with you, I had never seen this mug before today. Now, I've lived in this flat for 8 months, and I must say I've spent a lot of those 8 months at home. I like to think I've seen all of the mugs. I recognize all of these. Some of them I wish I didn't, but I recognize all of them. This mug I've never seen, and I find that extremely unsettling. And another thing that I find extremely unsettling about this mug is this bullshit handle. Now what the fuck is that? It's just so disappointing, because I do think this is quite a unique, nice looking mug. I would love to drink out of this, but what the fuck am I gonna do with this? Honestly, come on. And I'm quite excited about this one. This, as you can see, says I Heart NYTM. And I think that's really interesting. What I'm getting from that is kind of I Heart, obviously I Heart New Year's. But I think the TM is really interesting, because what's the TM mean? And I think in this case, the way I see it anyway, is I Heart New Year's the most. And you can interpret that kind of as you wish. Is that I Heart New Year's the most compared to old years, or the current year, or the kind of middle years, the Middle Ages, if you will. I like to see it that way, but you can also think I Heart New Year's more than New Year's Eve. I know a lot of people get really excited about New Year's Eve. It's a lot of expectations. Everybody wants to have the best New Year's Eve. Well, I heart New Year's the most. I don't heart New Year's Eve, and I'm not about that. I heart New Year's the most. They just love New Year's Day. They love getting up on the first. They're like, this is what I'm excited for. You guys can have your party. I'm not here for the disappointing end of the year. I'm here for the disappointing start of the year. And that's especially important, I think, going into 2021. As you guys know, when January 1st, 2021 approaches, the world is actually going to go back to normal, and everyone's going to be happy again. So this is a really exciting mug for me, and I think it's going to be one that I'm going to be using frequently, kind of as the new year approaches, because I do heart New Year's the most. Really, it's kind of up to you how you choose to interpret it, and that's an awesome thing to kind of give us the choice, you know? Let us make our own decisions in life.